I have been using this Pura 70 Ultra since its first release, from the excitement of buying the 7th generation to the excitement of booting it up, from the surprise of seeing the Kirin 9010 to the return to rationality after experiencing it. These three changes in my mindset also reflect the views of digital enthusiasts on this phone. In this video, I will combine my usage experience over the past 3 weeks to share my emotional journey. Although I have seen the design of the Pura 70 Ultra for a long time, when I opened the box, I still felt a slight shock from Huawei. In 2024, the only manufacturer that can produce this type of product is Huawei, which has irregular camera modules and so-called high-end ones. The small brand has fiercely broken through my aesthetic limit, and I have been watching it for several days before gradually sticking to it. The melanin leather diamond pattern has a hardcore and high-end feel, and I really like the back panel. The balanced body configuration with 4 curved edges with large curvature before and after the body is narrowed. Even if the body is close to 230 grams, the grip feeling is quite good in the flagship market. At this point, I was originally satisfied with the appearance of the Pura 70 Ultra, but when I was browsing, I found that the lens cover of the Pura 70 Ultra was actually made of plastic, and the lens cover of the $1,400 mobile phone was made of plastic. This is just like discussing how to switch to using Longjing ceramics for braking. It's really amazing. The performance improvement of the Kirin 9010 compared to last year's Kirin 9000S is approximately between 1% and 5%, mainly due to the reduced main frequency and improved energy efficiency after replacing the architecture. Although there is still a big gap from the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Seconds Gen 3 compared to last year's Mate 60 Pro, the daily temperature is much lower. The Mate 600 Pro often heats up, causing it to get stuck in one person, while the 70 Ultra heats up slower, and the animation remains smooth when it heats up, making the screen less likely to see blue. This scheduling strategy and clever optimization method largely compensate for the shortcomings of processor performance. Even if the performance is lagging behind, it can make Pura 70 Ultra look the same or even slightly higher than mainstream flagship. It is known that most e-commerce platforms of this service brand do not support smoothness. What if you want to have both fluency and powerful performance at the same time? Why don't you take a look at Vivo's new products to see if they meet your taste? It happens to be the Vivo X100 series new product launch event. If you have a demand for this new product, be sure to come to Pinduoduo for a 1,400,000,000 subsidy. This is because the official collaboration between the Vivo new product brand and Pinduoduo for White subsidy has launched a nationwide exclusive activation service, and you can also receive a 7-day logistics return and exchange service. I would like to call this operation a sincere promotion. It is a special benefit that Pinduoduo and Vivo provide to consumers together, so my suggestion is for those who want to buy a new Vivo phone. Just place an order directly on Pinduoduo. It's both authentic and new. Everyone can open Pinduoduo and search for $1,400 or click on the link in the comments section to directly reach the event venue. 618 is also coming soon. Pinduoduo's 100% subsidy is also available, and other digital home appliances have surprising prices. When buying mobile phones and digital products, you also need to see Pinduoduo's $1,400 subsidy for brand new genuine brands at ultra-low prices. Buy with confidence and use with peace of mind. After several system updates, the performance of the Kirin 9010 game has been basically stable, and we can now make a conclusion. In the game of King Eating Chicken, Zhongfu can turn on the highest graphics option in the performance mode to run smoothly, because the scheduling of Huawei's mobile phone is radical, and even if the phone is hot, it will not easily lock people. Some experiences are okay. Once it comes to the high-load game of Genshin Impact Iron Cracking, the performance of the Kirin 9010 is not enough, and the launch conference forces the gap to open, and the resolution is also lower than that of Friends. I don't know whether Huawei has not paid much attention to the development of game frames in the past few years or the performance of the Kirin 9010 is not enough. Pura 70 Ultra frame insertion delay is obvious, and there will be frequent small stutters. The temperature is also relatively high. If you really want to play, you'd better meet the requirements of reducing the image quality. A phone with a terrain of $1,400 cannot smoothly play extended high emotional intelligence games. Compared to the Pro, the 3 lenses of the Pura 70 Ultra have all been improved, including a 50-megapixel IMAX 989 1-inch main camera with a 40-megapixel ultra-wide angle and a 50-megapixel front telephoto main camera with a 27mm focal length and a 95mm focal length. In order to reduce the thickness of the body, the main camera adopts a sound volume structure. Currently, there are no problems with the lifting and dropping of the lens, and there is also a drop detection. However, durability still needs time to be tested. Every year when Huawei's Ryab CMOS is first launched, it tends to turn red. This year's Pura 70 brightness has not escaped even in tree trunks and Character Zero Ultra. When taking this photo in the original color mode, the red of the lantern is clearly overflowing, and other colors are very accurate. The basic image quality is good, and the color and details of the building are also very accurate when shooting the entrance of the community. Similarly, the red part is too bright, and the backlight scene is not blindly pursued in the dark part, which is well preserved. The relationship between light and shadow in this 7 brightness. The Zero Ultra telephoto application has a focus distance of nearly 5 centimeters and can even capture the pixels on the phone screen clearly. Compared to the P60 Pro, the image quality of telephoto cameras has also slightly improved. A while ago, I grabbed the little tail of spring and took photos of the flowers, which were very impressive. Even the stamens and filaments can be captured clearly. When shooting physical objects, the main color can be highlighted, which is relatively comfortable. This time Pura Clear Ultra has added a flash shooting mode, which is based on increasing the shutter speed and increasing ISO speed. When shooting children and pets, the output rate is higher. However, one thing that puzzled me was that Huawei was the first manufacturer to do the moon mode. This time, the supermoon was cancelled. In my opinion, the role of the supermoon is not just to criticize the moon, which is too boring. It goes beyond the algorithm logic and is to recognize the brightest part of the scene. It can be used to shoot lights, fireworks, and candles when it is dark, highlighting the highlight of other songs. The effect is really good, but the cancellation is really regrettable. To be honest, even with the Rai-inch main camera and updated telephoto lens, this generation of Pura 70 Ultra is not as far ahead in photography as it used to be. Despite the violent accumulation of high-quality OPPO materials in Xiaomi's stylized Vivo, Huawei has a new technology with a 5cm telephoto and macro lens. I am personally disappointed that the experience of co-shooting is just ordinary Pura 70 Ultra. The Zero series, except for the standard version, all have the same 4-curved screen with a resolution of over 1.5 Kelvin and a peak brightness of 1440 Hz for the high-frequency dimming Pro and Ultra. It supports the new generation of Kunlun glass. If you only look at the parameters, it may not even be as cost-effective as some 2000 models. However, the screen parameters are the same as the running score, which does not mean that the sliding feel of the 4-curved screen in the final experience form is very good. This is my current favorite screen form. In terms of color perception, there is no problem with the color accuracy and color gamut of this top-level flagship, but mainly in extreme cases, each family has differences. In outdoor scenes, Huawei's lighting scheduling strategy is very aggressive, and the duration after activation is relatively long. When using it in Kanto at night, I will feel eye fatigue for about half an hour, which is considered good among flagship devices. My iPhone, when I turn off the lights and play for half an hour, tears have already flowed out. What is very uncomfortable is that Huawei forces the use of 3-pulse DC dimming in daily life. It would be even better if it could provide a single pulse option, which can save many users who are sensitive to flicker. I am quite satisfied with the Pura 70 Ultra screen in my hand. But I knew about the Pura 70 Ultra screens in the first release video earlier. I was fortunate enough to have drawn from Bo, and I heard that the screen side of Lin's house may appear slightly green, so I need to pay attention. When it comes to the peripheral configuration of Pura 70 Ultra, it starts to abstract. I can tolerate earpiece-style speakers and motors with average vibration. But where is 3D facial recognition? Mate 60 doesn't have the same functions as Pro. How can it be on Pura 70 Ultra? Does 3D facial recognition have to be exclusive to the Mate series? The funniest thing is still the short focus fingerprint Mate series, which uses 3D facial short focus fingerprints as an auxiliary calculation tool, which is understandable. However, since the Pura series has castrated 3 body faces, why do we still use short focus folding? I feel that Huawei currently doesn't have many cards to play, but it still needs to forcefully distinguish between the Pura and Mate series, as well as these 8 models. In the end, some strange combinations will appear, which is very frustrating for consumers. I added a lot of features before upgrading, but the experience didn't improve much. If I really can't distinguish between hardware, why not just focus on 3 mini models? Would it be better to have a reasonable pricing and stable supply? There is also the phone case that comes with the water lifting gift. After all, many people will always use the Pura 70 Ultra phone case, which comes with a built-in phone case, to wrap it up and down with left and right hollows, without increasing the width of the case. After wearing it, it will not affect the grip. What about the back lens area? There is no package. If you're used to using the back of your phone facing downwards, it's easy to scratch the camera module. The ugliest thing about this glossy lens cover seems to be plastic, with very low hardness. My device is already defective. In short, this phone case has a good feel, but its protection is not good enough. I don't know if everyone likes this design, but I still prefer phone cases with better protection. If I want a good feel, I will just cut costs instead of bringing a good feel phone case to the end. I originally wanted to summarize it from the perspective of this parameter and experience, but when I think about it, why is the stronger and stronger Pura 70 Ultra this year not as good as the Mate 60 released last year in terms of reputation? Is the Zero series really because it's expensive? In my opinion, I think the original sin of the Pura 70 Ultra is that it lost its hype due to a large amount of stock being released, just like housing prices. Previously, when I lived in a place called, the future mileage was selling for $990 to $1,100 and everyone boasted that it was the center of the universe. Now, after having the production capacity, everyone said it was in the suburbs, assuming that the Pura 70 Ultra has insufficient second-hand production capacity, and the price has maintained a premium of at least $140 in the first 3 months. Then the reputation of this phone can at least be further elevated. Human nature is like this. As long as there is profit and product quality and scarcity, there will be a constant stream of people going. Of course, there are too many price choices in this video now, such as the recently significantly reduced iPhone 15 series and the upcoming X100 Ultra, which are great choices. Tinduaduo's billion-dollar subsidy also provides ultra-low prices and high-quality services, saving money and eating something delicious, but not beautiful. This concludes this video. If you like me, don't forget to follow us 3 times. See you in the next issue. Goodbye.